12 News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
The Farm Bill deadline is officially come and gone. Why it's unlikely a vote on a new bill or an extension will happen before the election just ahead. Plus, as corn harvest gets underway here in Kansas, we speak to an expert about yields and what disruptions in the world exports are expected to do to that grain market. Good evening and welcome into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Keith Grant. Britton Rucker has the night off. The Farm Bill deadline has officially come and gone, and it's unlikely a vote on a new bill or an extension will happen before the election. We talked with Representative Tracy Mann and Senator Roger Marshall, who call this situation frustrating. This is similar to what happened a year ago. The Farm Bill that expired Monday was an extension of the one passed in 2018. Last year, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle couldn't agree on a new bill, so they extended the previous one. Congressman Mann releasing a statement saying Kansas producers have told him they need a farm bill and they need it now. Senator Marshall says despite the deadline, Congress has until January 1st to either pass a new farm bill or grant another extension. That January 1st deadline crucial for Kansas dairy producers. That's when money runs out for dairy-related programs, though other programs, they have a little bit more time. A new warning for you today. If you drink raw milk, K-State says there's a potential link between bird flu and milking practices. Researchers tested whether the virus is airborne or transmitted through milk. They found it is not an airborne virus, but it is transmitted through milk and milk-contaminated products. If the milk you drink is not pasteurized, it could be dangerous to drink.
If people like to drink raw milk, this milk could be contaminated with this virus. And it's obviously a risk to drink raw milk right now.
Even though humans can get bird flu, there has been no human-to-human transmission. We're getting a better idea on the impact Hurricane Francine had on agriculture. Francine made landfall last Wednesday as a Category 2 hurricane about 60 miles southwest of New Orleans before weakening to Category 1. Farmers in the southern U.S. had to rush to harvest key crops like cotton and rice ahead of Hurricane Francine's arrival. Barge traffic in the Gulf has also came to a standstill, tying up fuels, soybean, and grains headed for export. Nearly 39% of oil and almost half of natural gas production in the U.S. Gulf of Mexico was offline as well last week. A total of 171 production platforms and 3 rigs had to be evacuated. Well, a high-tech kind of radiation designed for people is also now being used for dogs and cats with cancer. CBS's Stephanie Stahl has more from Pennsylvania.
Cleo, an 11-year-old Sheltie, is visiting from Rochester, New York, getting treatments for a cancerous brain tumor that's caused seizures.
It was a surprise, obviously. She's been so active.
Cleo is Lily Cagle's best friend. She's at the Blue Pearl Vet Hospital at the recommendation of her New York vet.
They said surgery was possible, but based on what it was, it just wasn't the best.
Instead, Cleo is having CyberKnife treatments, a pinpointed kind of radiation that's also used on people.
Really, the name of the game in radiation is getting that dose of radiation to the tumor, but sparing all the healthy structures around it.
Siobhan Haney, a radiation oncologist at Blue Pearl, says she treats dogs and cats from all over the country.
This is the only veterinary dedicated CyberKnife in the world.
She says before the treatment, the tumor is carefully mapped with an MRI and CT scan.
So you use this imaging to kind of focus the CyberKnife.
That's exactly right.
Before the procedure, the doctor says Cleo gets some anesthesia and feels nothing during the radiation that kills the cancer cells.
There's no knife, no knifing involved. The makers of CyberKnife were trying to draw an analogy between the precision of this type of radiation therapy and the precision with which a surgeon would use their scalpel.
Dr. Haney says CyberKnife is a good alternative to surgery because it's non-invasive.
It really allows an animal to get back to a good quality of life very quickly. And also with minimal side effects.
Lily says Cleo has been a little tired, but you'd never know. She's had 3 cancer treatments as they're now ready to head home. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News.
All right, for people who don't have pet insurance, CyberKnife can cost more than $10,000 depending on the location of the tumor and how many treatments your pet needs. All right, still ahead on Eye on Agriculture. An innovative program helping America's farm workers become farm owners. Stick around.